Yes, I like what you've done here. Very nice. So wait a second. That means that Sunday it's gonna be Trey area. Let's go! Niner fans near and far, welcome back to another video from your boy Shifty. Today we're talking about Trey Lance announced as the starter for the Week 5 game at the Arizona Cardinals. It's exciting times in San Francisco. Trey Lance going into his first start. It's going to be a great game. Cardinals are a really tough team. It's a really tough matchup for Trey Lance. But let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about the expectations of Trey for this game, what we think Kyle Shanahan is going to dial up, and then we'll talk about a couple of his plays from the game against Seattle. We'll look at a good play and then a play where there's definitely opportunity for growth. Overall, I think the game plan that Shanahan's going to implement is going to be very straightforward, very simple. It's going to be, let's run the football. Shanahan always loves to do that no matter who his quarterback is. But especially here, I think Shanahan's going to dial up some interesting run plays to try and get some yards. You might see Debo getting runs, Ayuk, who knows? It could be anyone getting runs besides for the running backs. On that note, big time news is that it looks like Elijah Mitchell's going to go again. So that's awesome to have Mitchell back. Some more positive news also is that Trent Williams is going to play, is what it seems like. There is a little bit of a bummer, though, and that bummer is that it looks like Kittle will be out. So that's a big loss, especially for Trey in his first start in the NFL. Overall, though, I think we got to be excited. I think Shanahan will be looking to get Trey going early with some short, quick passes. Honestly, though, knowing that, I actually wouldn't be totally surprised, too, if the Niners can, run the ball well, first down, second down, maybe get a couple of first downs. You might see him air it out, because the obvious thing is what the Niners might do is what I just said they might do, which would be get Trey a quick pass, get him screen passes, slants. Cardinals might be like, that's what they're going to do, and it kind of makes sense. But maybe, when they're zagging, you got to zig. And with that in mind, maybe they'll just be boom, play action, and Trey might just bomb it deep to whoever. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a few shots down the field early, depending on how the game is going. Now, if Arizona's just scoring, then they might try and play it a little bit more conservative. But if the game is open, then I wouldn't be surprised if they want to throw it deep and see what happens, Overall, though, I think these certain guys who are going to be X factors, it's easy to look at someone like a Debo Samuel who is leading the NFL in receiving, which is crazy to think about, but Debo's been a beast this year. Honestly, the biggest X factor for me for the offense, it's going to be Kyle Juszczyk, the offensive weapon, Kyle Juszczyk. He's going to be doing it all. He always does it all, but this time it's going to be to another level. With Kittle out, I think you're going to see Kyle Juszczyk lined up at tight end. I think he's going to block. I think he'll catch some balls out of there. He's going to be in the backfield. He's going to be blocking. He's going to be catching balls. He's going to be running with it. He'll be lead blocking for those running backs too, so he is going to be everywhere. Don't be surprised if he has a big game, maybe another touchdown or two. Overall, though, with Trey, how do I think he's going to do? I think he's going to do pretty well. I think he will probably have an interception. There might be one or two passes, too, that look pretty ugly. And then my guess, too, is that he'll probably have a fumble as well. I think there might be some play where maybe it's third down, he's trying to do too much, and then a defender kind of comes in out of nowhere behind him and just, slaps the ball. He fumbles it. And so I'm expecting a couple of rough plays, too. And I think, a lot of quarterbacks, even veterans, have those. So it's going to happen with Trey Lance. He's going to be going through some growing pains, some big things that can help him out, or if guys like Debo can get those yak yards, That'll be huge. If the defense can cause some turnovers, because they haven't been doing any of that this year. Not since week one. Since week one when Dre Greenlaw had that pick six. And he's been out since then. So, good grief. But yeah, so I think what you'll probably see, this is my prediction, what I would probably consider doing is, you're probably going to run the ball, maybe a screen pass or a quick pass, but then early on, I'd maybe take a shot or two. Take a shot, maybe not to Debo, because I think the defense will be zeroing in on Debo, but I think maybe it's Sherfield, maybe it's Ayuk or someone, but I think you got to take a shot. And that way, maybe the defense, like safeties, and Cardinals have a good one in Budda Baker. Maybe they start having to push back a little bit. Then you get those running lanes going. So you want to play it smart, and you want to build up Trey's confidence, but you also don't want to be too predictable. And you want to test the defense too. And Trey's got a good arm, so sometimes you do just have to show it off. And Shanahan is one of the better play callers, so you'd like to think that maybe he can scheme up a couple of things, just like he did last week against Seattle with Debo wide open. What a play call. What a play. But yeah, so expect some growing pains, but I think overall, it'll be a pretty solid performance. I'm going to do a preview video, but spoiler alert, I don't think that the 49ers will win this game. It's a tough matchup. Arizona 4-0. They just clobbered the Rams. They're at home. They're confident. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. But let's now get into a couple of plays from Trey Lance from last week's game against Seattle, and we'll talk about the good and bad, and we'll get into it. Okay, so a couple things. I need to work on the quality of the video using. I am not 100% sure how to just plop in the video there, so I will figure that out. What I'm going to do is, you just saw the clip, and then I'm going to play the clip after I'm done talking about it, so you can kind of get an idea what I'm talking about. But this is one of Trey's not-so-great plays against Seattle. At this point, he'd been in the game for about 20 minutes of game time, so should be feeling relatively comfortable at this point. It's the fourth quarter. They are down by 2 scores, 9 minutes left in the game, 2nd and 7. Trey is in shotgun. You'll see, use check goes in motion. As soon as the ball snapped, he looks to his left. The receiver there is not open, and he sees that right away. That was his first read. His second read is Trent Sherfield, and then he kind of zeroes in on that. Sherfield actually did a pretty good job on his route, and he beat the defensive back. So Trey fires a bullet right at him. The only issue is that the entire time, linebacker Bobby Wagner was just watching him, and he almost picked it off too, so he jumped that route big time. It's hard to, that's just a veteran linebacker play up against a rookie quarterback making maybe his 10th or 15th throw in the NFL. What Trey probably, and he didn't see in that play, is that Juszczyk went in motion and actually got wide open up top, and it would have been a pretty, I would say, a good 8-9 yard gain for a first down. Would have ended up being about the same amount of yards as the pass to Sherfield would have been. So, I'm sure Shanahan pointed that out, and Scangarello too, the quarterback coach, and just being like, hey, you had good protection. Take your time, go through your reads. Don't focus in on a guy. Especially when you have someone the likes of Bobby Wagner patrolling the middle of the field. So, having what I just said, watch the clip again and see if you guys agree with me or not. If you don't or do, just leave a comment. Let me know. Alrighty, so this will be the good clip to show, and it's a funny one because it's an incomplete pass, so you're thinking what's so great about that. So a couple things. So Trey does play action. What I like is that he can kind of sense the pressure coming from his right. The guy, the D end beats McGlinchey. Couple of things that kind of stick out here, which is awesome, is that when he starts feeling like you can kind of almost feel the guy like on his arm, he actually has two hands on the ball. He kind of actually gets that second hand on it, so that's going to decrease the chance there's going to be any fumble. That he breaks out of the pocket. And here's the thing, Trey Lance has been running quite a bit in the game so far. But what's awesome here in this situation is the whole time that he's keeping his eyes down the field. He could easily run and pick up 3 or 4 yards, but trying to develop that pass first mentality, he keeps his eyes down the field, sees a guy who maybe could have come up with the catch. It's hard to say because a Seattle defender makes a great play and just puts his hand up and deflects the ball. All in all, though, I think it's a nice play. It's good progression in the first, basically your first live action in the NFL, and you're going out there and, evading a pass rusher, keeping your eyes down the field, trying to keep your receivers in the game. So, this is definitely something positive to build off of, despite it being an incomplete pass. Again, sorry about the quality. Next video, I'll figure that out. That's about it for this video. Thank you for stopping by. Like, subscribe, all that kind of usual jazz. We'll be back with another video soon, and appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the flip side.